Hello, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Lauren, and for those of you who are tuning in again, welcome back and thank you for your continued support. Today is the first video of the Cook With Me series. Okay, so I have been dying to start this series on my channel. If you have any type of diet restriction, or are just looking to get healthier and maybe don't know where to start or don't know what to eat, or maybe you just find reading recipes boring, that is where this Cook With Me series comes in. On this series, I will basically be a live action recipe card. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some yummy and healthy recipes that I have discovered on my journey so far. So let's jump right into it. So for today's recipe, we will be making creamy white bean and rosemary soup. I just want to start out this video by saying that this recipe is gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, nut-free, soy-free, and can even be made vegan. If you want to make this soup vegan, just omit the bacon part of this recipe. Also, the full recipe will be posted at the end and linked in the description below.
I do enjoy this recipe with bacon, so first I preheat my oven to 350 degrees, line up my bacon on the baking sheets, and bake it for about 20 minutes or to your desired crispiness.
While the bacon cooks, I move on to the actual soup preparation. I absolutely love cooking this soup in our Dutch oven.
I'm going to go ahead and start heating up some olive oil at medium-high heat. While this olive oil is heating up, I take 2 yellow onions and cut them into slices.
And keep in mind, nothing has to be fancy because at the end, we will be blending it all up anyway.
Yellow onions are loaded with antioxidants that help fight inflammation and reduce triglycerides and cholesterol levels. All of these things may lower heart disease risk. They also have antibacterial properties, may boost your bone density, and can help to control blood sugar levels. I throw the onions in with the olive oil. Add some freshly ground salt and pepper. And let them get nice and soft and golden, which takes about 12 to 15 minutes. While the onions are doing their thing, I make sure to keep stirring occasionally. Next, I will prepare the 2 cloves of garlic for mincing. Garlic is known to boost the immune system, reduce blood pressure, and contains antioxidants that may help prevent Alzheimer's disease and dementia. I then measure out 1.5 quarts of veggie broth. The recipe uses chicken stock, but I always use veggie broth when I make this recipe.
I then open, drain, and rinse 3 cans of either cannellini beans or Great Northern white beans. Today you can see we are using the Great Northern white beans.
White beans are loaded with vitamins and minerals, especially iron and magnesium, and full of protein and fiber. They also have been shown to support a healthy body weight due to the fact that they are very nutrient dense, have a fairly low calorie count, and have enzyme inhibitors that decrease the storage of energy as body fat. Then, finally, I rinse the branch of rosemary and pat it dry. By this time, usually 12 to 15 minutes later, the onions are nice and golden and soft. So I go ahead and use my garlic mincer to mince the garlic straight into the pot. I then let this simmer for about 30 seconds to a minute until the garlic becomes nice and fragrant.
Now we can add all our other goodies to the pot.
First, I pour about 2 cups of the veggie broth in to deglaze the pan a little bit and scrape up some of the brown bits on the bottom. Then I slowly pour in my rinsed white beans. I add the remainder of the veggie broth and pull the sprigs of rosemary off of the branch and put that in. Rosemary contains manganese, which is essential for metabolic health. Rosemary is also known to have properties that boost the immune system, reduce stress, and improve your memory and concentration.
At this point in the recipe, you want to bring the soup to a boil and then simmer for 20 minutes. And by now, the timer for the bacon has gone off. If you are using bacon in the recipe, that is.
So I usually immediately move the bacon strips onto a plate with paper towels to soak up some of the grease. Once the bacon has cooled enough for me to touch it, I dice up roughly 8 to 10 strips of bacon to sprinkle on at the end. After our lovely soup has simmered for 20 minutes, I then carefully transfer the soup to an appropriate blender. I then blend the soup until it is smooth and creamy. I have a NutriBullet blender and usually just hit extract, and that seems to do a perfect job. I like to store this soup in my 24-ounce mason jars. It usually fills about 3 of these jars. At this point, I disperse the soup among the jars, then I top it off with a drizzle of olive oil. I sprinkle the top with bacon. The amount used is really just preference. And voila! You now have a healthy and delicious meal in just about 30 to 40 minutes.
My boyfriend and I absolutely love this soup for lunches, and typically we split a 24-ounce mason jar between the two of us. So one batch for us usually makes about 3 lunches. What I also love about this recipe is it doesn't take much longer to double it. I actually had done that behind the scenes in this video because we have a bunch of guests coming for my brother's wedding this week, which by the time you see this, it'll be a couple weeks ago. But anyway, if you are visiting or visited, you have eaten the soup that was in this video. Anyway, I just think it's awesome that if 2 people are eating it, you can make lunch for 6 days, or if 1 person is eating it, you can get 12 meals out of it. I just think it's an incredible and versatile recipe, and pretty much everyone likes it that's come over, so it's a crowd favorite. Thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can see, it is super easy and very straightforward. And as you can probably tell, this soup makes a very common appearance in this household. Another amazing bonus is that it's free of many common allergens and food sensitivities. So if you are preparing food for somebody with those issues, it is a pretty yummy and safe go-to. But I do want to clarify, although it is gluten-free, egg-free, nut-free, dairy-free, soy-free, all those frees, it is not free from flavor. That is a very common misconception when people hear that a recipe is gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, soy-free, nut-free. They just think it's going to be tasteless and disgusting. But I promise this recipe is delicious and pretty safe for most people to eat. Plus, with all of those amazing health benefits wrapped up into one serving, you now have another go-to besides chicken noodle soup when you're feeling a little under the weather. Let me know in the comments below what some of your favorite soups are, and or if you try making this recipe at home, how it goes for you and how you like it. Next week, tune in to learn the difference between an intolerance, a sensitivity, and an allergic reaction. If you want to see more content like this, please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button here on the screen, and click that little bell icon to get notified every time that I post. Thank you, and toodaloo!